overall, I think the integrated lesson plan really helped me to understand what a lesson should look like when it's created from the perspective of a librarian in regards to teaching for learning. But I know that that's not enough. I needed more knowledge. So if we go back to our first page here with the AASL standards, whoops, I gotta drag this over here, scroll over and down. Our next one is the Mission, Standards, and Activities Alignment. Now, this was a really fun assignment. I created this assignment more recently in my, let me think about it, Library Science 5823, and that was in the spring of 2015 with Alicia Baker. And I really did enjoy this assignment. I thought it was a lot of fun. I feel like I learned a lot. So for this assignment, I began, let me move this over so you can see a little better. I began with our school mission statement, and this was a school mission statement for East Central Junior High. And so our school mission statement was created by the teachers at East Central Junior High, maybe a year ago when we got a new principal. And so as a staff, we came together, we needed a new statement, we had a new principal, we needed a fresh start. So our school mission statement is, our mission at East Central Junior High is to instill in students a sense of grit and determination, pride in accomplishments, and academic competence within a safe and nurturing environment that addresses each child's unique and individual needs and talents. And then I also grabbed the Tulsa Public Schools Library Mission Statement. And this is not specific to East Central Junior High. This is all of Tulsa Public Schools. Excuse me. They state, the mission of the Tulsa Public Schools Library Media Services is to promote the skills, experience, and confidence that will enable children and young adults to use libraries and information resources for lifelong learning. So I took these two mission statements. That's where I started. And then I was asked to pull out 4 key phrases from the 2 mission statements that were particularly powerful to me, that could be used to facilitate students working on their standards for 21st century learner mastery. And so some activities that kind of brought those 2 things together and facilitated the standards for 21st century learner mastery with our mission statements. Okay, so the 4 statements that I pulled out were grit and determination, and that came from the East Central mission statement. Academic competence, which also came from the East Central mission statement. The third one was experience. It was really long. Experience and confidence was the main piece that promote lifelong learning out of the library mission statement. And then the last one was a safe and nurturing environment. So I selected these statements because I felt they were necessary for student learning and achievable in conjunction with the skills for the 21st century learner. Using these key phrases as inspiration, I then selected the 21st century standards for learners to locate 8 standards that supported the school library mission statements. So for each of these 4, I picked 2 standards. Okay, so, and I picked different standards for each one. Once I did that, I had to create 2 activities for each standard. So I started with 4 key phrases from the mission. I ended up with facilitating learning and mastery of 8 21st century standards, and then that resulted in 16 activities altogether that would work for those. And for each of my activities, it was important that I focused on what could be done in the library and also what could be done outside of the library. So some of these, like cyberbullying posters, that could be done in the library it could also be done in the classrooms. I could facilitate that with classroom teachers, or I could do that as a separate activity in my classroom. And that's kind of what each of my activities was. It wasn't tied to the library. It was activities. My goal was to create activities that I could share with my staff, that I could go into my staff classrooms and really help them figure out how to kind of implement the 21st century standards into their own curriculum, so we could have this collaborative environment that was really focused on student achievement and our mission statement. So I believe that this assignment right here really touched on 3 of the competencies within Standard 1 Teaching for Learning. Okay, so Standard 1 Teaching for Learning enables learners to become effective users and creators of ideas and information. I created the aligned mission statement, standards, and activities plan, and included multiple opportunities for students to locate, use, and create their own information and knowledge through collaboration and information-based activities. Specifically, this assignment addresses 1.1, knowledge of learners and learning, because I designed the plan with the learners in mind. Start first. For the majority of the activities, the students were given the opportunity to select topics relevant to their needs and interests. Learners are asked to locate resources and supporting ideas for their topic. Upon completion of their own research, students are asked to turn their knowledge into a new source of information. So if we look at this one right here, the research paper with bibliography, students are given the amended Bill of Rights. Students are locating information about the creation. Okay, so that's I'm giving them a topic. In this one, I was giving them a specific topic. And I would probably work with like a history teacher, social studies teacher for this assignment. But students had to locate information about the Bill of Rights, and they also had to apply that information about how it was created and what the Bill of Rights means today to them, to their lives. So I required them to locate primary and secondary sources and then turn it into a research paper. Okay, so this one was a little bit more traditional. This is how you have to be able to research and feel that confidence and that self-directing. Excuse me. But I also, I didn't just want to leave it at traditional research paper. So for this one, students were selecting artwork and they were creating their own artwork, right? So it's a different kind of research, but they're still participating in that research. They're still gaining that experience and confidence, that lifelong learning piece, and they're turning it into their own new idea, their own new knowledge, their own new content, right? That they can then share with other people. And so that was a key thing for me in addressing knowledge and learning, was that I wanted students to be able to make their own knowledge, to make their own information source. And then 1.2, effective and knowledgeable teacher. I designed the plan from the inquiry-based approach to learning. Students are asked to complete a variety of tasks for each given activity. Some require independent practice and others are collaborative. But at the end, everyone is an activity where students are asked to turn that knowledge into their new information source. Just like I said, right? We have artwork, we have a research paper. If we scroll back up through here, there are some prezzies. There's an opportunity for them to make a video, like an Animoto, a presentation. So lots of different sources of information that they can turn it into. But all of the end products are then able to be shared with students, parents, teachers, community, other librarians, and we can use that end product to assess the student's mastery of the 21st century skills, and also to assess our own teaching of that mission statement and the goals that we established in that mission statement. Finally, 1.4, integration of 21st century skills and learning standards. Before creating the activities, I first identified the 21st century standards the 21st century skills from the standards that would support the mission statement. I then utilized or used the ALI website to identify authentic learning activities that supported the skills, right? So I didn't just copy what they had done, but I figured I took some of their ideas and adapted them to the demographics of East Central Junior High. Middle school students, predominantly Hispanic, many of them are English language learners. Language arts, English is not their primary language. So I wanted to take things that from that ALA website, kind of adapt them to meet the needs at my school. The result of the process is authentic learning activities where students are able to improve their 21st century skills and meet the expectations set in the school and library missions statements. So in the past, I have given little thought to the school mission statement when I create lessons, right? Typically, I select a standard as language arts teacher. I select a standard I need to address and then locate or create an assignment I think that teaches the students the standard I identified. The resulting lesson incorporates a 21st century skill, if that's the standard I'm going for, but it very rarely identifies something specific within the mission statement. My primary focus is on the past standards. This experience of starting with the mission statement and then finding the standards and then the activity that meets that standard. So this process of starting kind of backwards, or I suppose it's not really starting backwards, it's starting, at the very beginning with that mission statement, has allowed me to shift my focus from past standard to skill. It's taught me that by thinking of the 21st century skills last, the majority of my assignments did not provide authentic learning opportunities where they were mastering these skills. Excuse me. This experience allowed me to shift my focus from the past standards to the skills necessary for success in high school, college, and careers. If I shift my focus and begin with the mission statement, then I am able to base my lessons on the skills my colleagues in administration has deemed essential for student success. As I include the 21st century skills, I am able to pull in the specific skills that will meet the needs of those essential ideas of success, and the resulting activities provide authentic learning and real-world application to skills. So for me, this gave me a new starting place and helped me ensure that my lessons address the standards, the content standards, the skills that I need students to address, but also kind of get that real-world application that's really going to help them post high school, post traditional school, and into their careers. So it just changed how I look at teaching a lesson, basically. Now, if I were to use this again, as I look back over my alignment plan, I realized I did not provide ample opportunities I didn't specifically address content. I didn't specifically address collaborating with the classroom teacher. I assume that a lot of these activities could easily go into other classrooms, but I didn't specifically state I'm going to work with, or this would be really beneficial in this class. I didn't collaborate with any content teachers. I didn't ask about, social studies, history. And I think that if I were to use this again or do this activity again, I might pull out those phrases and the standards and then think, collaborate with them. How could you incorporate this into your lessons? Just to get a bigger understanding of how I could take it outside the library and really help my classroom teachers integrate some of these 21st century standards into their own curriculum. And by utilizing the classroom teacher's knowledge of content, that would just give an extra, I would really be preparing the students for the OCCTs at the end of the year. It would give me that extra boost, that extra thing that we need that unfortunately is state testing. But it would give me that piece to make sure that it also ties into state testing. So I think next time I do this, I will collaborate with my classroom teachers to make sure that I get some content, some specific content from the science, history, language arts, and math departments.